George from Seinfeld,
Edward, I think we got him.
a barefoot Richard Gere, and Julia Roberts in a wig.
Do you think I look like Carol Channing?
I'm Peter Bielagus, and this is Money in the Movies. Hello and welcome to Money in the Movies, where we review films based on their financial accuracy. Today's movie is Pretty Woman, directed by Gary Marshall and starring Julia Roberts, Richard Gere, and Jason Alexander. In the film, wealthy businessman Richard Gere finds himself on Hollywood Boulevard, and through great wisdom or folly, he picks up working girl Julia Roberts. And by working girl, I mean working girl. He begins to fall for this lady of the night, and as their relationship grows, she not only helps Richard Gere to become a better man, but also to become a better businessman.
I want to help you.
Early in the film, our star couple is having breakfast when our pretty woman asks Richard Gere about his career.
So what do you do?
I buy companies.
What kind of companies?
I buy companies that are in financial difficulty.
By the way, on a totally unrelated side note, this is the famous croissant pancake switcheroo scene. As this scene opens, Roberts is eating a croissant, but at 33 minutes and 20 seconds into the film, that croissant magically changes to a pancake. If you don't believe me, rent the film and check it out. I've often said that the pancake cartel has far too much power. That's proof. Anyway, after breakfast, Roberts asks even more about Gere's business.
So what do you do with the companies once you buy them?
I sell them.
Here, let me do that. You sell them.
Well, I don't sell the whole company. I break it up into pieces, and then I sell that off. It's worth more than the whole.
In other words, what Gere does is make a lot of money by ripping companies apart. The film serves up a financial commentary in its subplot about the controversial financial practice of the bust-up takeover using a leveraged buyout, or LBO. To explain what a leveraged buyout is, I first need to talk about how to value a publicly traded company. Remember, a publicly traded company is one where anyone can buy the stock. There are two very popular ways to assess value of a publicly traded company. You can look at book value, or you can look at market value. Book value is the value of a company's stuff. Add up the value of all a company's stuff, like its factories, its real estate, its machines, intellectual property, brand recognition, patents, and the total value of all of that stuff is referred to as the company's book value. The market value is the number that you get when you multiply the number of outstanding shares by the current price per share. Remember, publicly traded companies are divided up into pieces called shares, and those shares are priced by investor demand. If a lot of people are buying shares in a company, well, the share price will go up, while a lot of people selling will cause the share price to go down. A leveraged buyout with a bust-up takeover usually happens when an investment group finds a company whose book value is greater than its market value. When that book value is high enough, that simply means that the pieces are worth more than the company as a whole. It's more profitable to bust it up. In the film, Gere and his greedy gang are after a company called Morse Shipping, because Morse owns a large piece of waterfront real estate which they want to redevelop. And old man Morse is not too happy about it.
I'm sure you understand I'm not thrilled at the idea of your turning 40 years of my work into your garage sale.
By the way, in the classic financial film Wall Street, Charlie Sheen tries to get Michael Douglas excited about a stock by suggesting a leveraged buyout with a bust-up takeover. The reason the process is called a leveraged buyout is because investors usually have to borrow a lot of money to buy up all the outstanding shares. And one way that they make their loan payments is to sell off pieces of the company right away. Leveraged buyouts, especially the bust-up kind, aren't the most popular investment strategy. Many critics argue that the process is a classic example of the rich getting richer at the expense of the working class. If you want to read about one of the most famous leveraged buyouts in financial history, check out the book Barbarians at the Gate, which chronicles the leveraged buyout of tobacco and food giant RJR Nabisco in 1988. Pretty Woman doesn't talk too much about the leveraged buyout, bust-up takeover process, but from what it does describe, the process and the moral consequences of it are accurate. Therefore, I give the film 3 out of $3 signs. I'm Peter Bielagus, and this is Money in the Movies.